Let's queer up health. A first randomized clinical trial shows gender-affirming care halves suicide rates in trans patients. In recent months, anti-trans activists have targeted gender-affirming care, asserting that evidence supporting it isn't high quality according to the grades of recommendation, assessment, development, and evaluations systems standards. A system that places a premium on randomized clinical trials. However, scientific experts and federal court judges have found the use of the term high-quality evidence to be highly misleading. In fact, roughly 90% of all medical care lacks high-quality evidence based on this system, but there are no similar calls to ban those medications and procedures. This discrepancy largely stems from the fact that randomized clinical trials are often impractical or unethical for many medications and conditions. Now, researchers in Melbourne, Australia recently conducted the first randomized clinical trial to study the impact of gender-affirming care on transgender individuals. Their findings showed that gender-affirming care led to a reduction of suicidal tendencies in 55% of the treatment group receiving hormones, compared to just 5% in the control group. Researchers in Melbourne, Australia studied 64 transmasculine individuals who sought testosterone. The participants were randomly split into a treatment group and a control group. The treatment group received their gender-affirming care within a week, while the control group waited 3 months. Both groups were evaluated for suicidality, dysphoria, and depression. 3 months later, they were assessed again. The findings showed that suicidality scores halved for the treatment group, but remained unchanged for the control group. This is not surprising to me, because with our organization, we work a lot with people who are trans, and they are 10.8 times more likely to commit suicide before the age of 25. So seeing that this is the benefit of having actual medicine and tests that say, hey, if you actually give gender-affirming care, it is going to save lives. It actually does save lives. We've known this. This is not news to our community, but at least now we have scientific backing for it.
Yeah, and we need it. And we need that data, unfortunately, right? Because just like Jacob, when I read the story, I was like, duh, right? But it's the truth. But we need the data, because right wing is always like, oh, you guys you chose who you love, and you chose your gender, and you choose whatever you want. That's not the truth. We need this data to show people that this is the authentic lives that we're living, and this is how we got here, you know? I think that we've gotten to the point where we're so freaking numb, right? Today's 9/11, okay? We have massacres here and there. We're screaming from the rooftop saying, hey, our children are trying to kill themselves here, right? Please support them. And everybody's just numb about it. Like, okay, yeah, they're kids, whatever. Oh, they won't kill themselves. Guess what? The Trevor Project does a study every single year that says that every single year since they've started, the percentage has gotten up of LGBTQ plus youth, especially trans youth, that have thought or have already tried to end their lives. This is the reality that the LGBTQ plus community is living with every single day. Now they're talking about it.
Yeah. The 55% to 5% is not a small difference. You know, numbers don't lie. I'm a huge math person. I have been my whole life. So this is important. I agree with you. I think we need the numbers. I just hope that it really does help kind of kick it up a notch into the point where anyone who is going through any sort of transitional period in their life can get the care that they need when it comes to...
I'm curious, Eric, to the observation you just made. The statistics are overwhelming, which is what you're saying. And then you say, gosh, I hope that this will make a difference. What do you think? Will it make a difference? In terms of changing minds, which is Faye's point. They live in this rejection. You make a choice. So these statistics, will they help?
You know, I said before the show that I am not a fake it till I make it kind of guy. I don't think at this point they're going to help. I want them to with my whole body. I just don't think so at this point.
You know, it's interesting to me. And
it's heartbreaking.
That's the reason I start by asking the question before I make the observation. If we connect the dots to the radical wings of our society, evangelicals, radical GOP, which are the two principal, and the Moms for Liberty. Let's put them in the third classification. If you connect the dots between them in various different issues, this is science-based. That's what you just said. The science here now shows. You know, I love Faye just going, the science is duh. No, it's just science. But that duh is beyond so many of these people. You connect that dot to the science of masks, to the science of getting a vaccine, to getting a booster, to that the election was fair. You know, all of this scientific evidence is routinely and randomly rejected.
100%.
So as a result, the 55-5 of we're talking about dramatic statistical significance, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to make any difference, because they live in this, you've chosen this, and so therefore you can choose not to. Well, it would be akin in science to saying, I am diabetic, and so therefore I need this diabetic medication. No, you choose to eat the way you do,
Right.
so therefore you don't need the medication. We would never think from a healthcare perspective to come to a conclusion like that.
No.
That's what we do on trans, which is what's so disappointing about this story. It's overwhelming. It's duh, but
think
nothing's going to come from it.
Sorry, the thing I would think it would be more effective if it came from the United States. Because it's based in Melbourne, they're going to very easily say they didn't get that email, they didn't get the memo, it's done across the country, the continent, the ocean, whatever.
I don't understand Australian.
Yeah. In Australia,
Australia doesn't exist.
That's not that island.
Fake news.
There it is. All right.
Australia is so much more progressive than we are, especially with LGBTQ rights and where they're going with their politics. I'm really hopeful that those of our brothers and sisters who are paying attention in Australia, congratulations. We wish you the best. Don't forget us. Come and save us over here.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.